There are rare and special places on this planet where life expectancy is significantly higher than the global average. These places all share some key characteristics and principles of well-being. Gabriola Island is setting out to see what happens when it adopts this type of community-wide approach to caregiving. Join the community on its journey to discover the secrets of living.
My name is Cecily Ann Dannenauer, and I am 101 and a half, and glad of it.
Research strongly suggests that one of the most important ingredients to a healthy, long life is living with purpose. But what does living with purpose look like? This is Chloë Straw, Gabriola's Seniors Navigator.
People move to Gabriola because, one, they fall in love with the natural beauty, with that small town, closely knit community feel, but they also move here with a purpose.
Living with purpose means many things to many people. And just like people, purpose comes in many shapes and sizes.
I'm a sculptor by profession. And then I came to Gabriola to find out there is no much demand for sculptors. So I start making bicycles, first of all, for people with disability. And I stuck to it for all these years.
When I landed on Gabriola, they were talking about the kind of stuff that I believed in and thinking, how do we create the kind of community we want to live in?
When the community needed a new clinic, the community raised the money and hundreds of people helped to actually build the clinic. It's special.
See, my kids are my purpose, if I had one. I never felt it was a purpose. I just felt I was enjoying myself. I never failed to enjoy myself. Oh, gosh.
Living with purpose, most simply put, is a reason for being. And each of us has the power to find that reason. The trick is to recognize it, listen to it, and let it guide our lives.
Coronavirus. We had our first case of a novel coronavirus confirmed in a person here in British Columbia.
It's March of 2020. COVID-19 hits the west coast of Canada and sends the small community of Gabriola into a full government-mandated lockdown. The programs and services developed and implemented by the community are suddenly frozen in their tracks. Overnight, social service positions transform into frontline crisis support jobs. The lead agency, People for a Healthy Community, is forced to reimagine its plans from scratch, just as they had begun to take shape. Amidst the chaos, they pivot to a new initiative called Neighbors Helping Neighbors. The program matches local community members in need of support with neighbors who are looking for opportunities to help. As soon as the program is launched, the phone starts ringing off the hook.
I was shocked at some of the calls that came in, hearing from older seniors who live alone and hadn't seen another person in 3 months, didn't have any food left in their house and couldn't get online to order groceries, and just really getting a very personal account of the vulnerability that comes with that level of social isolation.
Now with age, it's really limited. Once in a while, I spend a whole day in bed. I am the last leaf. Gosh.
How can Gabriola achieve its goal to become one of the healthiest places on the planet in the midst of a global pandemic?
Well, today's a big day on Gabriola. Every year we have our big annual Salmon BBQ. Due to COVID-19, we're obviously not able to have the big in-person barbecue. So we are actually buying local salmon that we're cooking up as part of the fundraiser and delivering to local seniors. I love my job. This is basically my dream job. As the Seniors Community Navigator for Gabriola, my job is to help more seniors live well for longer. And I love it.
I'm totally blown away at the help and support I've had. All the neighbors have helped in one way or another.
How I represent myself is a person in the community, trying to do things for this community.
This community is determined to approach caregiving as a collective rather than individual responsibility. This kind of community care is called social prescribing, and there is growing evidence that it really works. Social prescribing eases the load on the healthcare system. Pilot projects in the UK suggest that measurable changes can be identified with 18 to 24 months of people joining the program.
Those community-based services and that system of care that we have and that we've largely built ourselves, I just take fierce pride in that.
There were people from 100 to a few days old, everybody intermingled. It sort of just gave me the sense of a complete society.
It really feels like we can do things a different way.
Is the idea that we can do it, that we don't have to say, well, can't government do this? It's that we can do it.
Everything around myself is nice and healthy and thriving and things, so that's how I feel much better in that way. More creative and more human, put it that way.
I think there's so much out there that we don't know. And I just think you have to be grateful for how much of it, well, for me, so much of it's good. I mean, I just don't, well, of course, my gallbladder.
The health and well-being of a community hinge on the health and well-being of its community members. Gabriola seems to understand this at a fundamental level. Knowing that a clear sense of purpose is essential to a healthy lifestyle, Gabriolans come together to care for themselves, each other, and their community. There is still much work to be done and many obstacles to overcome. If Gabriola gets it right, it will be among the healthiest places on the planet. And if this community can discover the secrets of living, maybe it can inspire your community to do the same.